Let's go. Do you find it hard to get motivated and focused sometimes? If so, what do you do to snap out of it and get what you need done?
Of course, everybody does, right? I think I'm getting it more now. It's funny, when I was first starting out, I really wanted it. I kept at it. I did it whether I wanted to or not. I was motivated because I'd see those little successes because I was doing stuff, right? And I was learning, getting some money coming in, learning to build on that. So I was motivated to keep going. But on those times where you kind of just feel like, oh, yeah, it's enough. Don't sweat it. Sometimes, I mean, like, if you've got client work to do, you might have to come up with some solutions really fast, perhaps hire someone to help you or figure out that, because you got to get that stuff done. You don't want to keep your clients waiting, but really give yourself a break sometimes. Like, we're our harshest critics. We're the worst bosses to probably ever have. Sometimes we think that we have to do more than we really have to. Like, I remember I used to have these crazy to-do lists. And really, I'd have to do so much detail on products or launches or getting content out. But if I really looked at it, I could have, honed that down to just a few things that I needed to get done. So, don't overload yourself. Work on building a team, which I think, we had a lot of questions about outsourcing, so we'll get into that. Because I went, if you're one of my customers and you've been in my Facebook group, you know that in the beginning of this year, I went through a real big phase of being totally unmotivated. I didn't want to do anything. I was doing the bare minimum. But thankfully, over the years, and I didn't start out that way, that's right, because a lot of people say, well, that's because you already have all these people working for you. But I started out with nobody working for me. I built a team over time, and I have a system in place where we're regularly publishing products and getting them out there, right? And I have, other than planning the products, I have very little hand in making sure they get out there. So if I don't feel like doing anything, my products are still going to get out there. My customers are going to be taken care of by our support and all that stuff. So it's something you want to work towards so that you can have those lack of motivation times. Or, something happens where, you have to take care of a family member, or your dog just wants to, like, snuggle, and you really want to snuggle with your dog rather than working, then you're ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, what you said in the beginning was the same for me too. When I first started, I would work literally 14-hour days. I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. When I had a full-time job, I would wake up at 5, work 5 to 8, and then a little bit throughout the day during my full-time job work, and then at night. And once you get to that actual transition where you are making some money and maybe you went full-time and you develop these systems and processes, what happens is you get a little bit tired. And then, you're also a little bit older. I started in 2010. I was, so I had a lot more energy.
Just a baby.
Yeah, and I can't, for right now, I can't sit for long periods of time.
Actually, that means you started probably about the same age as me, right? That's funny, yes.
I was 30.
Yeah, I was, 30. I was about 30. I think I was 30. Yes, I was 30.
Wow, it's another thing we have in common. So, I can't sit for a long period of time without the bones starting to hurt and things like that. So you kind of have to work around that, right? We all experience that. And as well, and I talk a lot about this in my business, and like fitness and moving around, staying in shape, getting up, stretching. You can't sit for long periods of time, and if you are sitting, make sure that you are being productive. It's very easy to putz around on Facebook for 35 minutes.
I never ever do that. ever.
But it's a combination of work and also a little social too, and then whatever. But yeah, you do have periods of time where you get burnt out. I certainly do. And hopefully you have, though, by that time, some systems put in place where you are starting to make some money, starting to make some passive income, starting to plan more, starting to plan your months out more so that you have projected income, things like that, which give you the ability to kind of, take a little bit of a break sometimes when you don't feel like working.
I love the exercise thing because I wanted to add another piece to it too. When I, several years ago when I decided to, to get into better shape and exercise, I did martial arts. I started, with karate and stuff like that. And then the last year or so became very addicted to yoga. And both those activities, and it doesn't even matter if you're doing weightlifting or things like that, there's a lot of the similar things because it requires that consistency, developing of habits, focus, right? Martial arts and and yoga require a lot of focus. Yoga, I love it because it makes me, I'm calm. Things that used to make me anxious, don't make me so anxious anymore.
And your laptop
there's
battery.
just I forgot my laptop battery, and she thinks I'm crazy that for this 5-day trip, and she thinks I'm crazy that I wasn't totally upset about it. I'm like, well, whatever. I did have stuff to do. It's not like I couldn't do nothing, but I worked around it. I learned to use a Mac laptop today because I forgot my charger. Every problem has a solution, which is another thing I said today. My daughter gets stressed out about these little things, and she gets so worked up, and I'm like, well, just stop for a second. Everything can be solved. There's always a solution. And if you can just stay calm and keep, figuring that out. Don't let those little things upset you or, get you unmotivated and make you not want to continue because you can figure out how to keep going.
Yeah. Another thing, I know that there's like books about this. There's methods that you can do, like work 25 minutes, stop working for 5 minutes, and I'm sure people here can name those methods.
Pomodoro.
Exactly.
That's too structured for me, but a lot of people swear by that.
But sometimes
if it works for you.
Yeah, sometimes it really works. If you really don't feel like doing something and you just say, all right, I'm going to do it for 5 minutes, and then it turns into like an hour, and then you've gotten an hour's worth of work done, which is great. It's just something that I kind of do. I'm like, I'm going to sit here and do it, and it gets done, and like you're just in it. And you finish it. So
I guess I actually do a form of it. Maybe I'm lying. It does work for me because sometimes I'm involved in some Facebook groups for fun, and some of them are like so compelling that I say, okay, after I've written these 3 emails, I can go check what's happening.
Reward.
In the group. I usually do it more task-based than time-based, like that I have to do these things, and then I can go.
Yeah, I like that.
Do that.
Task-based. Exactly. But yeah, the little reward system that you do. I mean, don't reward yourself too much with food, but sometimes food is a good motivation, right? Going out to eat some sushi later, but you can only go if you finish this, and this, and you have to be your own boss, to be an entrepreneur, you have to learn those skills anyway. You have to be self-motivated. Like, it's not going to happen if you don't get the work done. And in the beginning, I know probably some of you here are just beginner, not, just starting out, maybe just entering this world of your online business. And I don't know when you started to develop a team, but it took me a while. I did a lot by myself. I also took on a partner as well, so we shared a lot of the work. But you're not always going to be able to hire somebody to do everything for you in the beginning, Like, we can't all be Alice.